Good evening, YouTube. You guys are now watching another segment of the TheCaliEffect. Today, we're going to be talking about the rule changes that Konami have made in the OCG. What really has sparked this conversation is that there has been a lot of rule changes in the OCG that completely takes the OCG and say this is a complete different Yu-Gi-Oh card game than in the TCG. I'm gonna tell you guys ahead of time, I'm normally not a person for news. I've been debating on doing Yu-Gi-Oh news again, but first of all, I'm gonna tell you straight up, it's not gonna be early, it's not gonna be on time, it's gonna be when I feel like it. And when I do, I'm going to give you guys a detailed explanation of what it is. I'm going to give you my direct opinion because probably, more than likely, I'm going to be testing under these new rules or doing something about these new rules just to find further information into what you normally see. If you guys would like to find out the information first and before everyone else, there's plenty of great channels. There's Veskins466, there's MCole40, there's a plethora of channels that just do that. They just get the news before everybody else and post it up. Or they're the first guys I see on my news feed. So, let's get down to what it is right now. The the new revision, and I'm on Yu-Gi-Oh!-card.com/Japan, like I'm pretty sure I said before, but it says changing the text representation associated with the rule revision. Now, that's probably going to be the most significant thing I can read on here. While it's not extremely hard, it's a little harder. It's not easy, let's put it that way, mainly because this is translated from Japanese to English, and I ain't got time to learn Spanish, so not gonna happen. Another thing I guess will be effect to which apply the end to end phase is card to be revised into effect until end of turn. Now, like I said, I could sit there for 15 minutes looking at it go, but I'm not. I'm gonna go to, obviously, America, because in America, we speak American. Actually, we'll talk about that later, because, like I said, I am going to talk about all of the revisions. Basically, what this is saying is that certain card effects, and by certain, I mean a huge-ass fucking list of cards, are being changed from to the end phase to the end of the turn. Now, a lot of players would think that doesn't fucking mean anything, but it's huge. Don't get me wrong, this is huge. Let me give you a prime example. Bujin Yamato. I summon Bujin Yamato on my side of the field. My opponent would effect Valorate. In the TCG, I'm gonna laugh at that, because I'm still gonna be activating Yamato. Why? Because effect Valor negates the monster's effect until the end phase of the turn. With Bujin Yamato, I can activate Bujin Yamato's effect at the end phase, where effect Valor does not negate the monster's effect. We can go into rulings and specifics and game mechanics later. I'll probably do that for a different video. Maybe start making a video and teaching you guys how certain game mechanics work. But until then, we're just going to leave it at that. You cannot negate Bujin Yamato with effect Valor in the TCG. Now, we go to the OCG past July 10th, because that's when these rulings are going into effect. The effect Valor's effect lasts until the end phase, until the end of the turn. That means until the end of the end phase of the turn, which means the monster's effect negated is going to be negated until the next player's turn. So yeah, it's a lot rougher, and that is the difference between a monster negating the effect until the end of the turn and then until the end phase of the turn. That is the difference, the huge difference. And like I said, huge ass list. There's a lot of cards in here. Effect Valor is one of them. The Forbidden series is one of them. Collude is one of them. So some of these cards are actually, if not competitive, semi-competitive. A lot of wind-up cards. I saw one Bujin card, which I was pretty hurt by. I wanted more Bujins. Oh, Tetherwolf is in it. And most of these cards in here are attack and defense modifiers. So in the back of my head, I'm wondering, what the hell is Konami thinking? What are they doing? They're doing something really sneaky that I just didn't know. Kind of like how they, Arata Dark Strike Fighter and the Turtle. That was pretty sneaky, because I would have made a deck about, you Pendulum summon and you special summon all these monsters and you use the Turtle to nuke all the monsters to inflict monsters, because that's the reason why they eroded it beforehand. So yeah, they're doing this for a really good reason. I don't know why yet, but I definitely will find out. Next thing is that we're going to be talking about all of the other ruling changes, since I never talk about ruling changes or any type of news on my channel. The first thing is the new Pendulum game mechanics. Now, about that, I wanted to just say it. After continuous playtesting with Pendulums, As of current, they are ass. And by ass, I mean the end of your ass. They're very horrible. My case in point was, do you guys remember any Pendulum deck winning OCG? No? Must be bad. There's also a lot of events that I did check out, and Pendulums did not make an impact. That being said, the Pendulums that we do have are pretty bad. Now, I'm not saying the Pendulum mechanic itself is bad. There will be some Pendulum monster that will be searched out by some easy, relevant monster that will be able to be activated and then summon certain amount of monsters that provide some type of effect to make the cards really good. Now, that's a lot of stipulations going on, but Konomi's did it. Case in point, Xseeds. When Xseeds first came out, you looked at Gachi and Utopia, you were like, these cards are But now we have Honor Arc and Exiton, and it's like, those are a lot better for Xseeds. That being said, I can feel this Pendulum game mechanic because it's just new. I know that it's bad for right now, and I know that it will be good in the future. So I suggest you guys to plan accordingly. From what it looks like, in my perspective, what Pendulums do is that they don't make good decks better. They tend to make bad decks just a little better, kind of like how what Dragons of Legends did to a lot of the bad decks out. Like you guys could say Fire and Ice Hand made Artifact Trap Tricks Hand, but at the same time they made a lot of other lower tier decks better than what they were before with Soul Charge and whatever that. We'll get on Soul Charge not being broken and it not being ban worthy later, but hurt is real. The next ruling I want to talk about is no drawing of cards during the draw phase for the first player. Now, that makes completely no sense because I remember still summoning Karkardi and going Dark World Duelings if I go first and draw 5 cards. If you guys hear stuff in the background, ignore. My family are just assholes. But anyways, the no drawing of cards is not that bad. I feel that actually balances the game. While I would hate to not be able to draw 6 cards and go first because I'm the TheCaliEffect, I'm a greedy ass player. If this rule ever translates to the TCG, which I'm pretty sure it will soon, I'll still try to find a way to draw 6 cards. I'm a creep in the dark, and when I come in, I like to get in, and then when I get in, I like to get out. So that being said, that I can agree with that rule, but I don't like it for me. I can agree with it from a gameplay standpoint, but me personally, I don't like drawing 5 cards. I like drawing 6 cards, but then I like going first. So I think it's very balanced just because it has me conflicted with do I want to go first or second from now on. Next, you know what? Actually, I'm going to elaborate on more. The reason why it balances the game is because your opponent starts off and draws 5 cards. They have less options. They can't do as much. They can't dominate the board. While the second turn player drawing 6 cards, they're pretty much set. They can practically counter whatever you have. With that being said, there's a lot of cards that can, be banned officially and never come back. Heavy Storm, because that mechanic itself balances the game. It balances the back row. It balances a whole bunch of things. I guess now we can go into the next thing, was 2 field spell cards allowed on the field simultaneously. Now, if you ask me, that's how the fuck it's supposed to play. I'm sorry. I have a field spell zone, and you have a field spell zone. Why can't we both have field spells at the same time? We don't share back row. I can't set 5 back row, and because I set 5 back row, you can't set back row. Doesn't really make any sense. From that perspective, I just felt field spell cards should always be like that. And there's going to be people, no, TheCaliEffect is part of the field. Well, I have my side of the field, and you have your side of the field. Call it segregation if you want to, but that's how it is. In the battlefield, I'm sorry, we don't share the field. This is going to be my turf, and that's going to be your turf. We'll meet at a neutral ground, and we'll fight, maybe, but that's how it's supposed to be. Yeah, that didn't make any sense, but I'm still going to stick with it, okay? I think that is very beneficial for decks like Spellbooks, Gravekeepers, decks like that don't really have to worry about having their field spell cards destroyed by another field spell card. It just addresses a lot of those awkward decks that need a field spell card to operate and be better. The next is going to be card errata changes, and I've already went over that. Dark Strike Fighter, Catapult Turtle, Twin-Headed Behemoth for some reason now, I guess, but that was necessary, and that was necessary because Dark Strike Fighter is brokens, first of all. And secondly, Pyramid or a Catapult Turtle has now become even more broken because it's now part of some other OTK or FTK or whatever it does. With that being said, I feel that Konami should do errata on a lot of cards. Let's make an example. For example, the Dragon Rulers. The Dragon Rulers are broken. The Dragon Rulers aren't intended to be worked with each other. At least from my standpoint, because when you work them with each other, they get banned and limited. Let's say if Konami were to errata the dragon part in Dragon Ruler. So what Dragon Rulers would say is you can ditch them in another attribute to gain an effect, or you can banish 2 fire monsters, or 2 water monsters, or 2 earth monsters, or 2 wind monsters to special summon this card. Take out the Dragon Claws. Take out the banishing Dragon Claws to special summon each other so they can't interact with each other. You can bring all of the cards at 3 now, and all you have to do is take out 1 letter. That's all you have to do. Blaster and Burner can be at 3, and all you have to do is take out 1 letter. That is the power of errata that Konami can do. That is so amazing. But will Konami do it? That's the thing right there. I would really look forward to them balancing cards so we can have a very fun metagame. But at the end of the day, Konami is a business and they're about money. With that being said, doesn't look really great for us. This has really been fun. If you guys would like to see me do more news, I would actually not do it this late because I'm pretty late on pendulums and all that other stuff that I'd said I was going to talk about and never got to it. If you guys would like to see me do more reviews about that and stuff like that, just I guess I want to say 20 likes, couple comments. I know Winner's going to say something, so win on. Thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, but most of all, enjoy.